Hi, this is Josh Kulp. This is the video for Daf Shevui, Daf Kaf Gimmel of Masechet Avodah Zarah. We are going to be making a push in the next couple of weeks to try to get more people to sign up for Daf Shevui. More information will be coming out about that soon, but I wanted to give you a heads up. Tell your friends about Daf Shevui. I think it's going to be a mass phenomenon. You'll be joining thousands of other people learning Torah in this way. So you'll hear more about that coming up. For today, for this video, I wanted to talk about the difference between Kodshei Mizbeach, sacrifices offered on the altar, and what's called Kodshei Bedek Habayit, sacrifices offered that are meant for or holy things, not sacrifices, meant for the upkeep of the temple. The Talmud gets into it because there's a little bit of a debate about whether or not the parah, the red heifer used in the purification ceremony, has the status of Kodshei Mizbeach, holy things meant for the altar, or does it have the status of Kodshei Bedek Habayit, holy things meant for the upkeep of the temple? So one of the main differences between the two statuses, the two animals are belonging to different status, is something that's dedicated to be on the altar is a korban, is a sacrifice, and an animal that's fit for the altar cannot be redeemed unless a flaw happens to it. So what this means is, let's say I have a sheep, which is an animal that can be offered on the altar, and I say I want to dedicate this to the temple. That animal now is holy, and I can't redeem it, meaning pay money to turn the animal back into a regular non-holy animal such that I could use it and then bring the money to the temple, unless the animal has some kind of physical flaw that would disqualify it from being a sacrifice. So just as a physical flaw would disqualify this from being a sacrifice, so do other flaws, including the fact that a human being had copulated with it, it was engaged in bestiality, it was worshipped, or it was a goring animal, one had caused damage to other people. So those are rules that apply to Kodshei Mizbeach, to sacrifices that are animals that are dedicated to be a sacrifice on the altar. But I could also have a second category of Kodshei Bedek Habayit, which are animals that are dedicated to the upkeep of the temple. Now, why would a parah aduma not be considered a sacrifice? The issue with the parah aduma is that it is not really, the red heifer is not really sacrificed on the altar, and it is not processed, meaning slaughtered, inside the temple at all. All of the actions that are done with the parah aduma, the red heifer, are done outside of the temple. So while we sort of treat it like a sacrifice, in other words, we slaughter it, we do things with its blood, it has the status of being some kind of holiness, we might consider a parah dedicated to be a parah aduma, to be a cow dedicated to be a red heifer, to be what's called Kodshei Bedek Habayit. Something's holy that's dedicated for the upkeep of the temple. This would come up in other places. Let's say I have a donkey. Donkeys cannot be offered on the altar. They are not kosher animals. Only kosher animals can be offered on the altar. So let's say I have a donkey and I say, I want to dedicate this donkey to God. Okay, what I mean by that is not dedicating this donkey. The temple can't really do anything with the donkey. It could use it for some kind of holy purpose of like grinding wheat or something. But aside from that, the most likelihood is what I mean is I'm dedicating the value of this donkey. So then we would evaluate the value of the donkey, and I would pay that money to the Beit HaMikdash. And even if the donkey has no flaw in it, the flaw is irrelevant when it comes to something that's dedicated for the upkeep, because such an animal is not going to be on the altar, so who cares if it's flawed or not? So that's the difference between Kodshei Mizbeach, things dedicated for the altar, and things dedicated for the upkeep of the temple, Bedek Habayit.